Simulated game controllers. So the GameLink Professional is one of our biggest sellers of our entire range. Feature packed. Check out one of our other videos what demonstrates just what these controllers can do. It's certainly one to consider. If, however, you want something a little bit extra, we have a new product out, the GameLink XL. Now this has been designed and built based on customer feedback and our own observations and ideas. So if you give me a second to move this camera around so you can actually see what's on this table in front of me, I'll run you through the difference in features between the XL and a Professional. So the GameLink Professionals, they come in a 4-channel, an 8-channel, which obviously isn't here, and a 12-channel variant, but the features are all the same. It just tells you how many traps they support. The GameLink XL comes in an 8-channel and a 12-channel version. So there's no 4, just an 8 and a 12. Now, once we open this beast up, everything you see before you is stainless steel. This isn't aluminium, it's not soft. It's not going to rust, it's not mild steel. And it's brushed stainless buttons and anodized aluminium jog wheels. So we've got away from, with the Professionals, if you want to put this into programming mode, for example, you hold down Plays and Flurry, it will beep and come up on the screen. Select channel, you would press 1, 2, 3 or 4, and it will say swipe magnet. And you swipe the magnet down the side of the receiver to pair the receiver to the remote control. The GameLink XL, no button combinations to have to hold down. You simply hold down the button you would wish to program, and the text is a lot more clear on the screen. So if I just do button A, we get a long beep and the screen says swipe magnet over spanner icon on receiver A. Simple enough. We get a double beep once it's registered that we swipe the magnet over and that receiver's paired. I've always been a believer of a picture painting 1,000 words, so if I start a flush, this will show you what a flush looks like on a GameLink Professional. This is what you'll be used to seeing. All of the lights come on. These are obviously representing traps firing, and you can adjust the speed. So that's every 6 seconds. The traps will fire. Start the flush again. Turn it down to 4 seconds. So every 4 seconds, bang, 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 so on and so forth. With the XL, we've introduced scatter, which is the new feature, and this allows you to give you more variation to the flush pattern. So if I turn this up to say 100 clays just to demonstrate this. So if we start the flush as normal, I'll put the speed down to 2 seconds for the sake of the demonstration. So scatter is the time between the traps firing. So if we turn this up, you can see the slowing down now. So you're starting to spread the clays out over the sky. We can drastically increase this time delay. We can go right up to a second in between each trap firing. So once you get to a high value, what you can then do is randomize that by clicking this button. So you click scatter. And now you might get quick, you might get fast. So this is giving you a completely realistic pattern in the sky now. You're not going to get much more of a randomized flurry of birds flying than that. So if we just turn it all the way up to, let's say, there we go, 600 milliseconds on random, 100 clays, 2 seconds apart, flurry of 4. So if you want to give people a chance to reload, then that's fine, just crank the speed up. So now we're up to 6 seconds. So this has really mixed up the pattern now. Obviously you've got the adjustment of speed, how many clays are in there, and of course flurry, how many traps are firing. We can change flurry as well while the flush is running, so now we'll only get 2 traps every 6 seconds. These are all new features on the Excel. The GameLink Professional allows you to change the speed while the flush is running, but it doesn't allow you to change the flurry. This one allows you to change the flurry, the scatter, and it also allows you to turn on the random features. So I can also randomize the speed. I can turn the flurry back up to 4, and I can randomize the flurry as well. So we might get 4, we might get less. Oh, that's lively. There we go, that completes the flush. So if we turn all of that back down, get you down to a traditional view. So speed, every 4 seconds, flurry, 4 traps, well we'll randomise flurry, and we'll turn the scatter down to, back down to where it should be, which is, the default is 80 milliseconds, which is the quickest we can run our systems on at the moment. That's what the GameLink Professional is doing. Every trap is firing every 80 milliseconds after each. So we start again. So don't forget we've got the flurry on random, so that's why we're getting 2 traps. 2 traps. 1 trap. All 4. So we'll turn the random off. So now we'll just get 4 traps and 4 traps and so on. Turn the speed back down to 2. So you can see this is a lot more dynamic compared to the GameLink Professional in terms of configuration. So I'll just turn this off to reset the flush. Simple as that if you need to stop it. One thing I should have said is while the flush is running, I'll just show you this now. At any point while that's running, you can just press the start button and it'll come up pause to tell you that the system is now paused. Just press start again to resume and off it'll go where it left off. Not the easiest thing to film, to be honest, because of the brightness of this screen, but you have to take my word on it. At the top it says clays 100, speed 4, flurry 4, scatter 80 millis for milliseconds. Obviously, because this screen is so much bigger than the GameLink Professionals, we can fit a lot more text on there, so it's a lot easier to give you proper descriptions, which really does make it easier for setting up the systems. All of the buttons are jog wheels, so we can actually turn these to adjust the value, and as I'm turning this, the clay's value is jumping up and down. The speed can also, the flurry, how many clays to fire at the same time, the scatter, the time between each clay can also be dialed in. Each one of these clicks, that turns on the random features for the associated button. And then of course you have the single fire trap release buttons, which can be used to fire off any of the traps. And this particular model is the 12 channel, so we have 12 buttons. The clays dial will go up to 6,000. That would be extreme, I appreciate that, but I've done it because, well, I can. This would be on the basis of all of your 12 traps having a carousel of 500, which would give you a total of 6,000. So I couldn't see any reason why anyone could possibly want to go higher than 6,000. So that's what I coded it to do. The speed will go anywhere up to a minute. So that's a whole minute between each flush of clays, and then the scatter will go up to 1 second. The flurry will always be limited by the amount of traps you have paired to the remote control. Today I have 4 paired to this unit, so I can go up to a flurry of 4. Again, if the flurry is randomized, I might get 4, I might get 3, I might get 2 on each time the flush comes around. Up in the top corner here we have UD and LR. This is to support our motion link receivers. So if you happen to have a ABT trap or a DTL trap, you can purchase our motion link receivers and use this controller to nudge the position of the traps out in the field all on the one control. And to do that, all we do is we hold down if we want to nudge up and down, and we press the corresponding trap. So we'll nudge trap D, and it will say nudging up and down on the screen. Same can be done for nudging left and right. Obviously I don't have an ABT trap here to show you this working, but trust me, it works great. So that is a 12-channel ABT controller built into the controller, and we also have this heart symbol here, which is a health check of your entire system. When this is pressed, what it will do is cycle through all 6th generation receivers and display their voltages for the trap's battery on the screen. That way you can get a system overview by just pressing heart, and it will show you all of the voltages on your entire layout. That way you'll know if one battery is getting particularly low. Some drain quicker than others as they get older, so it can be a handy reference to have on the screen, but treat it as a guide. If we add any extra features to that, we will do what we are doing for anyone who owns a GameLink XL. We encourage them to return it once a year, and we will software update it with any new features we've added, and we'll do that for you free of charge. So you can just literally pop it in the post, we'll update the software for you and post it back. The unit is lithium polymer rechargeable. There's the charging socket, so we just plug in our 12 volt 2 amp power supply. Little red light comes on to tell you it's charging. When the light goes off, it's fully charged. And I think, in a nutshell, that about sums it up, apart from, of course, the lovely case. We've had some horror stories of GameLinks, all from being left on the roof of vehicles and bouncing down the road, to being run over by tractors, by Land Rovers, you name it, we've seen it. Someone unfortunately left theirs out overnight and it got soaking wet. Now these are splash proof, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to leave it out and it's torrential rain, you're pushing your luck. This, however, you could chuck that in a river. It's completely watertight when the case is closed. When the case is open, it is splash proof. So if it's absolutely chucking it down and you want to adjust your flush system, no problem, just leave the lid half cocked. You can pop your hand in, adjust the settings you need, and then just close the lid up and continue on with your day without fear of your system going down because of water ingress. Fantastic case. I love these cases. In fact, I've pinched a couple just for keeping some of my test equipment in. But yeah, in a nutshell, I think that about covers what the GameLink XL is all about. And of course, most of it is centered around this scatter feature and of course the ABT controller. So again, this is the 12-channel version. There is an 8-channel version which is exactly the same as this. It is not missing any features compared to this. The only difference is, of course, it controls 8 traps instead of the 12. Thanks for watching. Any questions, drop us a message. But the GameLink XL is now available on our website.